Hi everyone. Good evening. We're going into day 19. We are looking at um, built-in functions in Python. We'll do that. We'll look at we'll look at length. Uh, man, I think it's min or max. We'll have to check really quick. Uh, we have some sorted. When we did C++ binary search, we sorted the array that we had, the vector, in order to apply binary search by halving the array. So um, this is similar to that, right? And then there's enumerate. Enumerate is helpful when you have a dictionary. Like depending on the data type that you have, right? Like you write this big JSON file over here, and then you get into it. It's, I don't know, it's like a million lines. So you go through this, and um, you can use enumerate to like print everything out of the console and stuff. It's a pretty powerful built-in function. You can use that. You can also use help. We're going to go over the use of help. So when you write a function, I'll kind of go over that as well. Like you write a function, you can kind of put the functionality of what the function does, like a linear search, like we did in C++. Well, we can do that in Python. We can put all the information about the function inside the docstring, and we can run this help function to give you the information of the method, right? So help function, and we add our custom function inside it, right? A function in a function, so to speak. But by running uh, the help on it, we can get the information about the custom method that we write. So we have that. So we can do that, right? And then obviously we'll run over a couple of like if else statements and stuff and everything here and there, and like a couple of for loops, which we've there are earlier sessions that we did that we talked about looping and stuff and everything. So if you have are unclear how that is in Python, it's different from C++ and Java. Uh, there you have to set up a couple of conditions in the structure of the loop itself is different from this. This is a lot more simpler than that. So anyways, we're gonna go to day 19. Let me open up my GitHub. What is it? This is totally not it. Oh, give me a second. I'm signing in. Just take me a minute to get to the code repo here. There we have it. That's that right there. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's go here. Let's clear our console. Let's get in here. So let's look at the length really quick. So let's go here. So you can go Swift, C++, go. And C#. Okay, so we can go here for the languages. We can go print list of languages. Right, in Bash we use like $1 for our Bash people. Like that. Run it. This is in the way. No, is it not? Yes, it's very much in the way. Right there. Just like that. This should output. Okay, there it is. Python day 9. Right there, a list of languages. You see right there. Oh, I wonder why this is not working. Run Python file. Control-Shift-P. Select Python interpreter. There it is. There's Python right there, right? So that's the interpreter right there. So this is the path. Workspaces, pybasics-v, env, whatever. So enter interpreter path, find it here, go back a level, click on this, and click on Python for the interpreter, and it should set it up right here. So if you go right click, if you automatically click the file, it should run it. There it is, it ran it. Okay. Okay, so that's so how does length work? So let's go here, go here. You basically just wrap it in parentheses and put the len function on it. So right there. Len object sized, and it returns an integer, right? Returns the number of items in a container. This is a container of languages. So it has to output to the console a new line underneath this saying the length of languages and 5. There it is right there, right? So that's length. Just what else? Just to know what we're gonna cover. Come on, this is not working out for me over here. And okay. I want to put the readme over here a little bit because I put it underneath because I want to see what all I want to cover, right? So length, min, max. Min, max are obviously like integers. Yeah. You can run them on strings too. I think if they do ASCII calculations, we can kind of explore that a little bit. So let's do min and max first. So let's do. Let's see if we get an output here. Let's see what it said too. Arguments, min, key, comparison, support rich comparison. Okay, my understanding is that this support rich comparison at main, it's going to do an internal hash map and do an ASCII one. Let's see if it prints it out, C#, right? And I can almost suspect that yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the reason why, but I'm gonna check it just because I'm checking. Does the min use Unicode? Unicode was introduced in 1990. It's a more comprehensive, versatile encoding character standard that aims to support characters in all writing systems across the world. It uses variable length encoding schemes such as UTF-8, UTF-16, UTF-32, allowing to represent over 1 million characters. Unicode includes characters from various scripts, including Latin, Greek, Cyrillic, Arabic, Chinese, Japanese, and many more. ASCII is a 7-bit character set that includes 128 characters, primarily consisting of the English alphabets only, numbers, and some basic symbols. It was developed in the 60s and has been a dominant character encoding scheme for many years. Each character in ASCII is represented by a unique 7-bit binary number, allowing a total of 128 unique characters. For example, ASCII code for the uppercase A is 65, lowercase a is 97. I'm going to put this here. And my understanding is that it is using Unicode, not. Why should I put it here in the Discord so that everybody can read it? All right. So that's the story with that. With both of these, right? That's what's happening. That's how the calculation happened. The main challenge was between this one and this one right here. The Unicode was different for them. So find Unicode of a I use list Python objects as representation of Unicode. Unicode encode UTF-8. So it encodes it. ord char. Okay. That's what it is. Right? So you would put C in there, right? And then you would put ord sharp or plus or whatever, and then obviously add them together, and that will give you the number. And C sharp would have the least amount of characters, right? If and then Go probably is lower on the Unicode as well because C is earlier than G, right? Because the numbers are incrementally go up. So we would have to go in here, put that in the chat as well. So that's really what it is. So if you want to go through the list or whatever, you would go like, we should do it in the debugger. Let's try and do it in the debugger really quick because it's the right way to give you an example of how this works. So we have languages, which is right there. That's your languages right there, right? So if you want to do languages and you want to access it with index because that's how you access them, that's Swift, right? So for char and languages, right? Print, and this is where the ord would come in, right? So it would be ord bracket and like that, and that prints them all. So for Swift, that's that, right? And if you have a list or whatever, so you go up here, you go to the home, you go shift enter like that, and you'd be like L1 is a list of the whatever, right? And then you come down here, and then you go here, you go like this, you go L1 dot append. Open that. Did I open it correctly? I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I did not. Shift like that. It appended it, right? So when you go over here, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna run the sum on it. Hey, look, we figured out how to run sum on this, a sum function as well. That's something that we wanted to cover, right? So we go here and we run it like that, and that's 557, right? So let's take this code right here. Let's copy it. Let's stop the debugger. Let's go into our file. Let's write it here so we save it, right? So that's the first one, Swift. So if you want to see how this min really worked over here, it took all of these and it obviously compared them. So let's see what it is for Go, right? Or let's see what it is for C sharp. Where Swift is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So let's copy this over here. Let's go. So C sharp. Let's call this. Let's just call it L2, man. One, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The indexing is different in Python from. Well, indexing is the same. They just start as 1 in C sharp or in C++. Save this guy. Save it, run it. So you'll have a printout of both of these values. So obviously it's greater than, right? So if you had to run a minimum, it's going to say this. If you want to run a max on languages, we know that Swift can't, it's JavaScript. It has to be JavaScript. Max of languages is JavaScript. You can see an output over here of JavaScript. Where is it? Max of languages. Swift. Why Swift as opposed to JavaScript? Let's do JavaScript as well. Zero, 1, 2, 3. Unicode is, there's obviously no logical way for this to. Let's see the value. So what we're trying to do over here is we're trying to see why this value is, right? Why did it print out Swift when we suspected it should print JavaScript? Just because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 alphabets, 10 and 5. So it's double the size. So why? And it makes sense, right? If the alphabets in here, most of them, like A is being used a bunch of times, which is 60, and S and might be, or W, for example, might have a completely different weight, right? Which one is, this is, one is this, right? So print, right? So SW, or whatever. Why does it print that for Swift? So I'm gonna say, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, SWIFT, and that's them, and then the total as well being printed here. So we want to do this, we want to do this, we want to do like that. Okay, so that prints that in that fashion. 1097. So 1097 is obviously bigger. So why did it give you the max of languages? So max. mix of languages, Swift. Really? It's very, very interesting. All right, so what's happening is Max is actually not, well, if you look at the Unicode values within each one, S has the highest Unicode value. So it's just comparing the first letter at J and C. So for J, obviously, right, it's 1,000 whatever. But if you go over here and you print it in here, so if you do print that over there, give me a new line over here. See that right there. Okay, so for this 1,079, you're going to see 106, and 106 is less than 115. So that's why I printed out in Swift. So using max and min is not a good idea because it's not using ASCIIs, it's using Unicode for the hash map, which in itself is it's a choice, right? We're used to it being ASCII, and then you obviously have, it will be very helpful with integers, but we know how it internally works now. So we're gonna just put this over here. Use for integers over strings. There you go. So that's right there, right? So that covers a little bit of looping that we did, and then it covers min and max. So let's do a few more min and max. Let's just create a new vector, like something that has integers on in it, not a mixed list, but a list with just obviously a mixed list would work too, right? But we want to kind of just use integers and see how the min and max functions with that. So let's put numbers is equal to something like this, right? And then we can go 12, 34, 56, 78, 54, 8. Okay, so we have that. We can run sort, min, max on it, all of that stuff. What else do we have in our README? Come back, README. For that debug point. Right, so we can run sum, we can sort it. For enumeration, we will get the dictionary that we built in 18, and we'll kind of just enumerate this dictionary right here that we have in here that we built with all this data. And we wrote this million-line file, right? We'll play with that a little bit. And then help, we need to write a function and do help. So we'll do that too, and then we'll see if we can get to enumerate. We should be able to squeeze it all in. Let's see. So first thing, print, right? So you just do max nums, right? And then you do min, right? And then you do sum nums, right? Let's see if I remember my. Here we go. Print. This is the dash of the nums list. This is the max, min, sum, right? There you go. Boom, right there. That's the block that we just built out, right? So the max is 98,987. Minimum is 12. Sum of all of them is 228,123. Okay. So you have that. Let's see. Switch to len. Should I do a linear search to do the function, like the write up? Okay, let's do that. Let's just write a function really quick. So let's do linear search, because I'm on a linear search kick. We want to return a -1 if we don't get anything, like if we get a failure. So we definitely want to do that. And then what do we want to pass in here? Okay. So I'm going to take this nums. So if we want to do this, let's write this above this. Okay, so we have nums, right? So we have len nums is equal to len nums. And this is the function called on nums, so it'll give you the size of it, right? So that's basically what it is, its size, right? So in here we can give the list, which is nums. Then we can give len nums, and then we can give the key that we're looking for, right? So we're looking for a key. What key are we looking for? Let's give the value. We can ask the user. The user should know. Okay, enter a key from. Okay, enter a integer from these options, right? And then you copy all of these. So you go input is equal to integer input. I can't remember how I put the string in here. Think about it. Do I add a string in here? Do I add the string before or after? In user input in Python, where do you enter the string? Where do you enter the prompt to the user? To the user. Name in, really? You have to put it inside an input. Wild. It's just a string. Huh. Okay. Control X. Go in here. Is it a single or double quote? That should do it. Can I give it any line? Just like that? No. How do I do that for the escape character, I believe? Okay. It's still whining, so just go back here. See like this. Okay, so it's going to ask you what this input, and then we want to call this the key, right? So the user will tell us what we're looking for in this list, and we're going to pass that to the function, right? We want the function to be down here. Okay, it's taking these things in. I mean, if it's initialized up top, it's not gonna, because it's linear, it's not gonna be initialized in time for it to pass the value to the function. That's what the function has to be down here, right? And now you have access to all of these things. You have these three things, they're inside this thing. That right here. So, okay, so for I in range len nums. Okay, so that's the range, right? The range takes an integer n, right? And then now we'll do the if statement, right? Like if nums I, which is for I in range the number. So the length is whatever the length is, right? Over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this loop is going to run like 10, 20 times, right? For this. And then it's going to look for the I inside it, and it's going to say, hey, is it equal to the key? Is it equal to the key? And if it is, return 1. And if not, obviously return -1. Right, so on the console, depending on what we see, we'll see whether the key was found or not. So if the integer input in here is not from the list, let's say the user puts in 13. You're not going to find 13 in this list. And if you're not going to find it, you're going to get a -1 output, right, from this function. So that's what's going to happen right there. I'm going to call the function down here. Or do so we're going to call it here. right? So we have this right here, this function built out, but it's not going to be called till you pass in the order of the things, right? So you pass out nums, length, nums, and key, just like that, right? Now it's going to return one of these two values, right, to you. So you can write something like this, like if key index is equal to 1. What? That you can print out that the key is found, right, and what the key is or whatever. Put an F string in here, right, and you put the key value that the user input, like this verifies that the user's input match, right? Because the return, though, the function will have to be 1. If what the user inputs in line 34 actually matches up with some value in the list, you're going to get a response of 1. And if you get a response of 1, you can say, hey, that this blah blah key that he entered, you can just take that for granted, right? A key was found, right? We could do this, or we could do else. We say print enter. And I should have put a new line at the end of this. New. Trouble sound. See right there. Now, how does the help work? Right. So what you do is you put a docstring in here, and you explain what it is, what the summary is, what the arguments it takes, what they are, and what it returns. Right. So it returns a type. What's the type? Right. So integer. Right. So you can say stuff like this, like 1 means that the key was found, and -1 means that the key was not found, right? Key has to be integer, description, integer, i.e. whole number should be chosen, and from the list on the control. Okay, length. Length of numbers is again size. So what is it? It's an int. It's an int. It is the size of the nums list. Nums global list. What is nums? It's a list data type. Is a list data type that holds ends for computation. Okay, so that's saved right there. How do you access all this? So this is the linear search function in Python. 3.12. We just check it right here. One, right? Like that. Now, I'm just putting stuff in here, right? So how do you access it? What you do is you do print. You go in here, then let me get a dictionary, right? So let's do I can just get it from inside this file. I can read that file. Help linear search, right? Right. So it's going to print the docstring in the next line after you see this. This is the docstring. Run, right? So we put in a number 13. So it says that you didn't get it, right? So put the output here. This is the docstring. You want to end it. So you hit Q, right? 13 was not found, right? So you can run it again if you want. Then 12, and it goes over here. And what it says is help on function linear search in module main, linear search, len nums key. This is blah, 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 and it returns. So what about the function? All the function details are right here that you can see. So that's how the help function in Python works. It's interesting and important to know because if you are in a project that you are going to step away from, you can write involved docstrings that are going to help anyone that's going to take on your work. Right. So we want to read the file, and we want to build a file path to this file. And then if you want to open this file and enumerate what's in this file, right? So if the 30 rows here, it's a list of dictionaries, it's a JSON file. We want to build a file path to this file. So get CWD is an object, right? That we create. We got os.get current working directory like that. It's not being discovered because we haven't imported OS. Import OS, just like that. Come down here. Right. That's that right there. Are we in bin? Why is this in bin? Oh, that's because our current path is over here. We want to come out of here. We want to go up. Python basics. Yeah. Here we want to mess around with day 12 JSON file or whatever. So this is the file path we want to build, right? And we've covered this before, so we're going to just copy some over here. So current dir output path is output. We don't want that. We want to make no. We want the file path. We want to join the current path with this date, right? So OS paths join. So we just do os.path.join like that. I do get cwd, which is an object, and what do you want to join to? We want to join to what we have here. This is our new file path file, right? That's file right there with open file read. I think read should have enumerate as day file dot enumerate dot read lines. There it is. What is it? I'm guessing has to be loaded and then enumerated. But we're going to do a type check on it, right? So when you do a type check, it prints out as a list, right? And then what's in, it's a list. It's a list of what? So we can call it lst1 is equal to this, right? And then we go, what is in list? If it's a list, let's go what's inside it. Type print what is list one, because list you can access with index, right? So 12 string, it's a string. How do you load a list of strings to this? We import JSON. I'm pretty sure because that's what it takes, right? So it's import JSON. It has to be load. So it'll be JSON loads list 1 bracket 0. That's the whole thing. And this will be the new JSON 1 is this. Read loads. Wow. didn't take it? Does it dump it into? Oh my god, it's dumps. Should load it into a dictionary, but okay. Let's see. It just took the first, literally the first slash, and why not take the whole piece of the string? But I want to see the output of it, man. So you see my affinity for writing stuff in the debugger because I'm having to over and over like run this like this way. But if you just do this, who's the debug point? Push it through. It's going to ask you for an input over here. Right there. There it is. So that's the path. We want to pass that in here. So take a list. Loading a string contents a list of JSON objects. My string, well, I don't care about your, because it is a key value set. Loads. Oh my god, it's JSON loads. I've been running JSON loads. Why didn't it work? JSON string. Read lines. Okay. This is literally it. This is the exact set of code, right? So we have to just go in here and we have to add this right here. is what it is. It's loads. My instinct was 100%. Okay, so the loads function always takes in a string. And if you go back to our earlier JSON, where was the iterator built the first time? I'm trying to think. Is it here? No, no, no. Is this where we did it? Where did we do it? This is where we did it. So we had a not lambdas. This is what we're working on right now, is a student profile, right? This was passed into a string. You pass in strings, and then you're able to manipulate them. Where is it? Why am I not able to find this code that I'm looking for? It's just a string of information that's just coded in with the students, right? Like these students, all of them, it's just like in one like string. Like you can put all of this in a string and access it with a key value, key value, key value. If you just switch this to a colon, you put three strings on it, three single strings, it's a string, and then you pass it into JSON loads, and that's what this is. It loads a string. If you do a data type check over here, it's a string, right? And that's what you should get. That's it right there. So we don't have to do this right here. It's already. Print JSON string right here. That's it right there. So if you create a list here, a list of lists or whatever, then when you get into it, again, so just want to double check something for you guys really quick. guess you can use the enumerate function. This should run. I know it JSON string join. So that students dot append string, that right there. So how to use enumerate on this now, right? So first thing we do is we can go print students, right? Let's remove these. Print students from here. There you go. It's a list. And I got appended as a string again. Can we get to it? We would run join on it. I wonder if I could just write a for loop inside it, right? Print type JSON string. It's a string. I want to say this is going to error out because I'm pretty sure the enumerate function, wow, it's supposed to take a key value. So if it takes it like this, right, for a key value in enumerate JSON string, name is equal to, and we can open this over here. Name program grades. So name is equal to should that know how it should be? Value. Name. Program. GPA is equal to rounding the grades. Rounding the sum of it, right? So if you go value grades, right? What's the like that. Length by the sum, right? If you do the sum of something and you divide it by the size of it, like the items it has, it gives you an average, right? And we want to do the average to the 2 points, so we give the 2 at the end, right? So we do sum, we go over here, and then we're going to say we want 2 decimal points, right? We want to put it inside. We want to round it to 2 decimal points, right? So you want to use round. So we ended up using round sum length, which is average, right? So we built out the average as well. So we built average. Where we go? Help. Round length min max. Len is right there. Round is right there. Sum is right there. All right, so we use this as well. Right, so that's your GPA. So for key value, enumerate the JSON string. So we're gonna go through that and we're gonna build out these keys, these 3 keys, and we're getting the value of the keys from the dictionary. So we're parsing through the dictionary and we're extracting this, and then we're taking this and we're running an operation on these lists. Right, we're running these operations, sum and length, on the lists, which is value grades. So we do that, and then it's going to iterate over how many items there are. It's going to iterate 3 times because there are 3 in here. So it's going to print. We're going to do that one here. 1, 2, 3, right? Can we do key also? We should do key also. So we can start with key, and then we can go to name, program, and GPA. So we can do something like this. Whatever the name of the program is, and we're gonna go GPA of the student, whatever that is. Okay. Let's keep it run. Name is a value name. Yeah, this is it. I was unsure here because this string. The enumerate always needs a dictionary into it or whatever. So how do you take a string and load it into a dictionary? So how to take a string, less dicts, and use JSON, Python built in. I've been thinking this the whole time. absolutely work now. That's it. The loads. So the loads is important for enumerate. Even though to print it out pretty to the console, like an object, you don't need that. Like you can just go print type JSON string, and you can just go print JSON string, and it'll print it in that, but it is a string type, right? But this enumerate, in order to use enumerate, right? See this printout right here? This is a string. Being happy with this because of the pretty structure doesn't really solve our problem for us. That right there is a list, but it's actually, if you run a type on it, this is a string. And in order to use this and print out in this fashion, like parsed out properly and use the enumerate inbuilt call on it here, you have to load it into with the JSON, right? A JSON always at the load level uses a string object in 3 quotes. So you can take the entire thing and put it in a string, and that's what I was saying earlier, and that's what all of these are. That's a little bit prettier because it's enumerated in a certain way with the JSON, with this join right here, but it's still a string. So when you read this file, it read it into a string, and then this JSON file, and that string had to be loaded into a Python object, a dictionary, because you could do key values, and then you queried the key values and printed them out to the console. So that's how this worked. All right, so we've covered built-in functions, length, min, max, sum, sorted, enumerate, help, and round. And I think sorted, we can run sorted here too, why not? We do sorted. This is sorting the entire list, right? So in low to high, basically, right? So we looked at the OS and JSON module. We looked at languages. We looked at we find out that the min and max can be used on strings as well. That it uses it uses Unicode. Python internally uses Unicode UTF-8, 16 and 32. And we put that in there, and right. And then for the languages, what it basically does is just looks at the first letter, like S, C, G, J, C, and then sees what the length is of them, what the internal Unicode value is, and then compares them, and then prints out which one has the highest one. Then we took an integer list, which is important because if you want to run some of these functions, they run really well on numbers, right? So max, min, sum, sorted. We did that. We looked at docstrings, how to run the help. We wrote a linear search that takes in these 3 parameters, these 3 arguments. We called the function here in line 58. We wrote it over here. We gave it this extensive docstring. We said we got return integer values, and then we wrote a Boolean on the negative and positive 1 returned by the function to print out on the console if the key entered as a user input by the user, if it is in fact found in the list object nums or not. Then we built out the current file path with our OS library. We joined it to the file that we wanted to read. We passed that into the with open file read operation that can be done in JSON. We read the file, we read the lines, we joined it because we found that even though the read lines are line by line, and we don't want that, we want it to be one giant list. Then we appended it to students which we don't need because we're not using it anywhere. So we can delete that and always test your code when you make changes, right? So that it runs properly, his and ROM. So by deleting students, you can see that we were obviously not using it anywhere. I appended it outside of the function to use it later, but we're not. Well, we wrote a for loop inside the open itself that runs enumerate on the string. We load the string into a Python data type with loads, as you can see. And then it returns any kind of output, like I said. So it deserializes the string for us into the object that we need for the enumerate function, which is a key value pair. Then we went ahead and used that dictionary to build out keys, namely name, program, GPA. The data was found inside this file in the list that we'd read in this load object. And then we printed out on the console, and that printed out what we wanted, right? So that's it for today. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Have a nice evening. Bye. Thank you.